This is Optimal Finance Daily, episode 647, How to Find $2 Million in the Morning by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. And I am Dan, your host, and this is where I read to you from some of the very best blogs on personal finance. I narrate articles from Mr. Money Mustache, I Will Teach You to Be Rich, Get Rich Slowly, Afford Anything, The Mad Scientist, and more, a lot like a gigantic ongoing audiobook that is completely free to you. Today's post comes from James Altucher, a popular podcaster and writer, but before we get to his post, hiring is challenging, but there's one place you can go where hiring is simple and smart. That place is ZipRecruiter, where growing businesses connect to qualified candidates. Try it for free at ziprecruiter.com/OFD. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. For now, let's get right to our post for today as we start optimizing your life. How to Find $2 Million in the Morning by James Altucher of jamesaltucher.com. Oh, I forgot to tell you, I accidentally made $2 million this morning, Dave told me. We were standing in his kitchen. We had been hanging out for a while when he suddenly realized he had this story to tell me. How could you accidentally make $2 million? James, it's really funny. This friend of mine who runs a hedge fund called me and told me he was closing down the fund. So I was like, okay, well, good luck on whatever you do next. I had no idea why he called to tell me he was shutting his fund. Then he said, well, where do I wire your money? And I was like, what are you talking about? And he said, Dave, since 1998, you were the only investor who held on and stayed all the way through to the end no matter what was happening. I tell you, James, I didn't even remember putting money in 1998. I didn't have any money. I must have put in just a small amount. That was 18 years ago, and I'd totally forgotten about it. I was sitting there listening. I was thinking about 1998. I wish I had secretly put some money somewhere and then had completely forgotten about it. Like leaving a $20 bill in an old coat pocket, but then finding that coat at the bottom of a closet and now it has 100,000 $20 bills in it. So I said to him, how much are you wiring? And he said, $2 million. My friend let that sink in. Imagine waking up tomorrow and, well, just imagine. Dave laughed. I totally had no clue. So I said to him, here's my bank information. And he wired the money. I made $2 million today. I was telling this story to another friend of mine later that day. Call him Ron. Ron said, man, how do you get into the flow like that? How can I make $2 million like that? Ron, I said, think about it a second. He's talking about an investment he made in 1998. We can deduce several things. Ron and I were having coffee at 3 p.m, and against my sworn beliefs, we were sitting at a table outdoors, enjoying the first truly warm day. I normally hate sitting outdoors. We can deduce, 1, in 1998, he already had enough money to invest in a hedge fund, which means by that point, he must have been worth $1 million at least to legally invest in a hedge fund. 2, he was connected enough to know an investor that was good enough to return $2 million on a forgettable size investment 18 years later. Ron, what were you doing in 1998? I was trying to do a TV show, then I was writing novels, then I was busy losing all of my money, then I was going through a divorce and relationships and raising kids. This guy, who is the same age as us, has been doing nothing but putting himself in the flow of money. He worked really hard at this. You and I have been much more volatile, sometimes in the flow, sometimes working against the flow. No judgment on it, we just made different choices. I guess that's right, Ron said, but still we were quiet for a few moments. Because one thing that is kind of cool about the $2 million was the surprise of it for my friend. Money doesn't solve all of your problems, but it solves your money problems. I was visiting Dave in his apartment when he was telling me this story. After he told the story, he had to rush to his room and change his clothes into a suit. Whoa, where are you off to in a suit? And this family I know, he names a famous wealthy real estate family in New York, is opening up a new building in South Street Seaport. You know he names a building that I had never heard of. No, I said, still wondering why he would have to be in a suit since I know he has nothing to do with real estate, wondering why he's even mentioning this. I told them I would show up at the building opening. Gotta go. And he rushes out the door. I said I would close the door behind me. Then I went from that coffee at Dave's place to coffee with Ron, outdoors, watching the people go by. One person was very kind and stopped walking and said, James Altucher, I love your podcast. Dave went from making $2 million in the morning to making sure he wasn't late for the opening of a building by one of the richest families in New York. He spent the rest of the day at the opening. Maybe one day that family would be involved in one of Dave's deals. Maybe they were already in Dave's deals. Every day we make the choice of who we are, and the choices today turn into your biography tomorrow. Ron and I watched the people walking back and forth. The sun was helping keep our coffee warm. After a little bit, we got up to go, and I paid the bill and he left the tip. He went home to write. He has a deadline on a novel and he's a bit nervous about it. I walked over to Union Square and played chess with the hustlers there until it was dark and cold and everyone was shivering. But we were all bantering and laughing and dropping the pieces while the day closed its curtain and turned into night. If I must say, it was a really great day. You just listened to the post titled How to Find $2 Million in the Morning by James Altucher of JamesAltucher.com. And thank you again to ZipRecruiter for sponsoring this episode. Hiring used to be hard. Multiple job sites, stacks of resumes, a confusing review process. But today, hiring can be easy, and you only have to go to one place to get it done. ZipRecruiter.com/OFD. ZipRecruiter sends your job to over 100 of the web's leading job boards. But they don't stop there. With their powerful matching technology, ZipRecruiter scans thousands of resumes to find people with the right experience and invite them to apply to your job. As applications come in, ZipRecruiter analyzes each one and spotlights the top candidates, so you never miss a great match. ZipRecruiter is so effective that 80% of employers who post on ZipRecruiter get a quality candidate through the site within the first day. And with results like that, it's no wonder that ZipRecruiter is the highest-rated hiring site in America. And right now, my listeners can try ZipRecruiter for free at this exclusive web address, ZipRecruiter.com/OFD. That's ZipRecruiter.com/OFD. ZipRecruiter, the smartest way to hire. And a quick note that you can listen to this show on your Amazon in-home devices, like the Echo and the Dot. Just tell your Amazon device, enable Optimal Finance Daily, and she should get it all set up, just like that. You can skip forward and backward, change episodes, and a whole lot more. So again, just tell that Amazon device of yours to enable Optimal Finance Daily. And that's going to do it for me here today. Thank you so much for being here with me and listening. I will see you in the Wednesday show tomorrow. That's where we'll hear a post from Budgets Are Sexy. So I'll see you there, where your optimal life awaits.